Canton's Fawcett Stadium, one of the great venues for high school football, for one of the great matchups we've had all season long. Ohio Division III Region 11 final, the Dover Tornadoes taking on Steubenville Big Red. Hi folks, Ryan Recker alongside of Don Sloan. Happy to have you with us on this Elite Eight weekend here in the Ohio playoffs. Of course, Big Red, the defending state champions, 27-game winning streak. They've been down this road many times before, 10 regional titles, going for number 11 today. Dover, though, in uncharted waters. They've never been this far in the postseason. Don will join me in a minute, but first we want to remind folks that today's game is brought to you in part by Belmont Technical College, Steel Valley Sports Medicine, Hancock County Savings Bank, Ohio Valley Honda, and easy-to-use Big Book. Don Sloan, you look at this matchup, across the board, one of the best that we've had all season long.
An exciting matchup, a much anticipated matchup. Dan If's Dover Tornadoes against Steubenville Big Red, and it's the furthest Dover has ever advanced in the Ohio playoffs here to the regional final. Coach If in his 12th season, 7 times Dover's been in the playoffs. This is the first time they've won a pair of playoff games. The Dover Tornadoes very excited to be here. Big Red looking to defend that Ohio Division III state championship from last year, and two contrasting styles. When you look at it, everybody talks about this Dover high-powered offense. They throw the ball, no backs in the backfield, and you always hear about Big Red and their blitzing, attacking defense, and it'll be fun to watch. And you look on the flip side, offensively for Big Red, they can do it all very balanced with the running game, and they can throw it as well. And we'll find out that Dover gets the ball first. Big Red won the toss, but they did defer.
Big Red's success in this venue last season, winning twice here, the regional final against Licking Valley. A week later, they came back and won the state semifinal matchup against Akron-Buchtel. So they're very comfortable playing here at Canton Fawcett, and both coaches telling us this week how happy they were to have this game here.
Both coaches telling us that there's not a better venue for high school football, no place that either one of them would like to play more. And you talked about Buchtel last year, but Buchtel was a known opponent. They opened with them and then came back to play them in the state semifinals last year. These two haven't met since 1998. They played in 97 and 98. Big Red winning in 97, Dover in 98.
Steve Davis has us underway. Dover will take it from the 18-yard line. Ryan Haney crush as he crosses the 25 at about the 27-yard line. Coming downfield on coverage is Mark Markakis. So Dover will start right there, and here is the Tornado offense. Get the calculator out, folks, because there's a lot of numbers being put up. Garner and If, the top quarterback wide receiver tandem in the state. Garner over 4,000 passing yards, 38 touchdowns. If has over 100 catches, 18 touchdowns. He's headed to Ball State. Garner up to the line as he has 5 wide receivers, the familiar look in this offense as they go to work. First play run and stop behind the line, back at the 24. So they spread it out, go to a run look, design run, Markakis in there, along with Tyree Dunn combining for a loss. And here is that Big Red defensive unit. They've been stingy all season long, 9.7 points per game. They've only allowed 16 touchdowns all season, 2 shutouts, and right there you see case in point. On first down, they drop Garner for about a 2-yard loss. This time he'll throw with pressure coming from the outside, out of the rush, on the run, looking deep. It's underthrown and it's intercepted. Mike DiCarlantonio down at the 34. So Big Red's defense stops Garner on first down for a loss, then picks him off on second down.
And Ryan, Big Red comes out with a 3-4 look. Big Red with a 3-man defensive front. And you see the pressure coming from the outside from the linebacker, Nick Fagagis. Garner flushed out of the pocket. This is when he makes his big throws, is when he's scrambling outside of the pocket. And Mike DiCarlantonio comes up with a pick for Big Red.
It could not have started worse for Dover here, who turns the football over on just the second play. Zach Collaros right to work. Swing pass outside. This is Steve Davis turning the corner. He'll be close to a first down as he was dragged down from behind by Shane Lester. And here is the Big Red offense, led by Collaros, 27-0 as a starter. He's combined for 31 touchdowns this season. Tamale McGee has been hampered by an injury, but does get the start today, and that's awfully important for this Big Red offense.
It really is. I mean, you talk about Collaros and his ability as a runner and a thrower, but I'll tell you what, Tamale McGee, without a doubt, in my opinion, one of the top tailbacks in the entire state.
And he can chew it up, 8.1 yards per carry. He's next to Collaros here, but Collaros will throw it for a second time, and again to Davis across midfield. First down into Dover territory at the 48. Now the Dover defense. They've really buckled down over the last month or so, allowing just 30 points in the past 4 weeks. The turnover differential very much in their favor, +4 last week, which really aided their win against Cambridge. However, they did allow a lot of rushing yards last week, but Big Red comes out throwing here.
And Dover's concerned with Big Red's speed with the receivers. You see they're giving them a lot of cushion. Big Red worked a lot this week on these short underneath passing routes.
Markakis in motion. First run, big hole for Tamale McGee as he'll stick it up the middle to about the 43-yard line. So a good pickup, a good win for Big Red offensively on first down.
And let's take a look here in the immediate replay. Hand off to Tamale McGee, and a nice hole up the middle for McGee. Sean Campbell and Sam Pavlik opening up that hole, and McGee did not play in the first playoff game. Last week was hobbled, left the game after a big run in the third quarter. It's important for them to have him and get him cranked up. And watch too, you see Stevie Davis come out. A lot of different motion and things that you'll see offensively with Davis today.
2nd and 5 from the 43. McGee out of a couple tackles, broke free, 35, and still going down near the 30.
There you see the strength of Tamale McGee, because you've got a Division I football player in Daniel If coming up to make that tackle, and McGee, they were talking in the locker before the game about hitting like a freight train, hitting like a truck, and he does that. Patiently follows his block, somehow gets between those 3 tacklers. Now watch this. McGee gets low like If and gets 4 extra yards after the hit.
From the 30, as McGee carries for a first down. Collaros will call him again up the middle. Big hole. McGee with the move. Outside and down to the 11, 19 more yards.
Big Red attacking the heart of that Dover defense right up the front. Let's take a look at these blocks from that front wall of Steubenville Big Red. Here comes McGee, couple nice turnout blocks there by the guard and the tackle, and then McGee just picking his way through, finding the seam for the big gain as Big Red's down to the 11-yard line.
4th straight time. This time he's hitting the backfield. He'll be dropped for a loss back at the 15. So Dover with the penetration there, knocking McGee backwards for his first loss of the day, and that's a rare loss as he averages 8.1 yards per carry.
The guy that blows this up is number 57, Bill Longacre, left side of your screen. Bam! Right after the handoff. He doesn't get the tackle. He blows up the play and gets some help coming from the backside for the Tornadoes for that tackle.
So after 2 passes, 4 straight runs for Big Red. 2nd and 14 here from the 15. Collaros pumps with pressure. Gets rid of it to the middle. It is to McGee. He lost the football, and it's loose. Scramble for it, no indication. Dover saying they have it, and they do. The Tornadoes come back with a turnover of their own. So credit this Dover defense with getting the football back here.
Big Red had a very nice drive going, but Dover keeps hacking at it, and they come up with a turnover here. Take a look here on the replay. Here's Collaros. Fakes to Bogard and trying to set up the screen to Tamale McGee. Here's McGee making the catch, and he will get met immediately. Great wrap-up. I believe that was Shane Lester that popped it out for the Tornadoes in a scramble for the football, and Dover ends up grabbing it. Lester forced it. I think Ryan Porter had the recovery.
From the 13, Garner. Matt Reinhardt. He's a playmaker. Cut back. Across the 35, across the 40 to the 42. Gain of 29 on first down.
Reinhardt on the slants can be devastating. You see Perci Garner's arm strength. Garner zipping it out to the outside. Reinhardt, some tremendous speed. Talking to the Big Red coaches this week, that's the one thing they weren't sure about. It is hard to gauge the speed of a team just by watching film, and you see right there Mr. Reinhardt's got some wheels.
You heard about If's 100 catches. That was Reinhardt's 80th of the season. Garner will stand in on first down, and he'll complete to If for the first time today, near another first down into Big Red territory, right at the sticks at the 47-yard line.
Daniel If may not be the fastest receiver you're ever going to see, but I'm telling you what, he's got good size, he's got great hands, and he runs great routes. He ran Mo Bogard off, then comes back in and comes back to Garner for that pick, for that catch.
So Garner has come back after the interception. Back-to-back passes have gone for first downs. Flip outside. This is Reinhardt. And he'll be close to another first down. Pickup of 8.
Garner's pass complete to 11, Matt Reinhardt.
Garner and Reinhardt hooking up well, and when you run the offense that Dover does, your receivers better be able to block, and Corey Abel with a nice block there on the edge, which enabled that gain for Reinhardt.
So Dover finding a little bit of rhythm here. Garner on a run. First down, 30, 29. And that's, Don, something that he's not the guy that's going to stand in the pocket. He can do that, will do that. But you look at his rushing yards this season. He has over 500 yards rushing to go along with 17 touchdown runs.
There's Big Red with that three-man front, and Garner reads that just like a running back would. The linebacker gets picked up by the guard, and then he falls off to the right for the gain.
Stands in there, throws it deep. If is wide in the end zone, touchdown Dover. 29 yards, so out of the turnover, they promptly march 87 yards for the first score here this afternoon.
Ryan, right now, Big Red not getting any pressure on Garner, and you can't give Garner all day to throw. Here you take a look at it coming from both edges. That gets picked up, and Bogard will slip over here and allow Ziff to get open for the touchdown. Beautiful pass from Garner to Daniel Lift.
Daniel Ift's 19th touchdown this season, number 39 for Garner. Reinhardt for the extra point. And the momentum has shifted here to the Dover Tornadoes. They get the turnover, recover the fumble, and march right down the football field, and they lead it 7-0 with 6:47 left in the first. Big Red to get the ball back when we come back. And we remind folks to join us Thursday, December 14th, live from Mundo's West as we announce the Big 22 Player of the Year, highlights of the season, along with interviews with the winning coaches and players, as WTOV9 will broadcast the event live beginning at 7 p.m. Thursday, December the 14th. Don, we know all about this Dover offense. Garner, Ift, Reinhardt. The offensive line, though, those guys up front may be overlooked a little bit because there's a lot of pressure on them to keep the guys off of Garner, to give him good protection.
And Dover's had a couple of injuries on that front line, a couple of guys that they'd really counted on for this season not being there. But Dover did a nice job of protecting Garner, and you've got to be able to put some pressure on Garner, and they were unable to do that. And Big Red with that three-man front, looking to come from the edges with the linebackers, and the tackles just doing a nice job for Dover on the pass protection.
So Reinhardt, the do-it-all man for this Dover club, will kick it deep, and it's Steve Davis just inside his own 8. Little patience. He tries to find the hole, develop, and he does. Across the 30, just stripped up at the 32-yard line. Saving more yardage was Carson Gessner.
And if you watch Big Red on a regular basis, they put so much time in their special teams, and Stevie Davis is one of these guys from kickoff and punt returns. Big Red does a great job of running back kicks to punt blocks, you name it. Big Red special teams really get it done for them. They were second offensive possession. Ryan, first possession, they moved the ball real well, but the turnover in the red zone.
Now, they were moving it at will on the ground until they got inside the 20-yard line. This drive will start from the 32. Collaros to throw, complete. Bogard puts a move on, and he's out to the 39 on first down.
They came with a run look, Ryan. They had the double tights, one back in the backfield, and tried to isolate Mo Bogard over on this near side, and a nice pickup of about 7 yards in a carry. So here's another look at it. Zach Little swing out to Bogard, one-on-one with Reinhardt. And Reinhardt does a nice job with the tackle, picks up some help from Brandon Burdett.
Fake McGee. Collaros to keep it straight up the middle. Cross midfield, dancing free to the 42. So Collaros, for the first time today, we see his athletic ability as a runner, and he, just like his counterpart Garner, has rushed over for over 500 yards this season. Did that look a little bit like WVU?
And talking to head coach Dan Ift earlier this week, that's what he talked about. He said when you think about Big Red, you think about this guy, Zach Collaros, and he called him really the crank that turns things, and Zach sure is for that Big Red offense.
Down to the 42 for Big Red. Back to McGee. And he'll be brought down from the backside by Ryan Porter, one of the leading tacklers on this club. He got him from behind, and a short pickup for McGee of about 2.
And Dover crowd in the box looking to stop that run. And Big Red now facing a second and long, 2nd and 9. You see Danny Vogel up to the top side. You like to work him on a lot of down, out, and ups.
He's got Micah Mills locked in on him. Bogard is to the bottom. And this double tight formation. Slant pattern, it is Vogel. Inside the 30, first down to the 27.
Danny Vogel is a special receiver. He's missed some games late in the year, had a broken hand, I believe. And Vogel, very key to this Big Red offense. Just a little slant, once again, giving some cushion for these Big Red receivers. So that does get the first down.
He knows all about making big plays on this field. Did it last year in both of those contests that we talked about, the regional final and then state semifinal.
Well, he's 6'3". He's a tough guy to match up with.
This time they go to the I formation with Markakis leading the way, but McGee is stopped for a short gain of about 2.
So once again, Big Red offensively, this has been the question. People know about Dover's offense. The question is about their defense. And they answered a lot of those questions last week against Cambridge. Against Bend, but don't break. They gave up a lot of yardage, but only 9 points in that ball game. After the last time, Cambridge won the first matchup between the two in a shootout.
And they stopped Cambridge twice on downs inside the 10-yard line and also took the ball away on a number of occasions. Collaros, short drop, had some footing problems. Looking, surveying, Vogel inside the 5, he's got a touchdown. So Big Red answers right back with a long drive of their own, and they're 1 point away from tying it up.
They scored in the same play last week against Canton South, Ryan, and Vogel, a good route runner, goes clear across the field. As we take a look at it, Danny Vogel is the slot receiver to the near side. Bogard was that way as well. Bogard cleared out, and you see Vogel to the corner with the catch for the Big Red touchdown.
And give the Big Red offensive line credit that time for allowing Collaros the opportunity to hang in the pocket as Steve Davis attempts and successfully attempts the extra point to tie it up at 7 apiece. Well, we wanted a good football game. So far, we've got one. We're all knotted at 7 on the Doane Ford scoreboard. The Tornadoes turn after this. Reminder that every Tuesday at 9 o'clock, I will see you online on WTOV9.com for the live online sports forum. And a lot of folks the other night discussing this game. It's a good half hour of open-ended chatting online every Tuesday night from 9 until 9:30. Well, you surprised so far by anything?
I think on that first possession of Dover, I was surprised that they were able to move the ball like they did and come down and score, but Dover's offense is something that teams don't see. It's patterned after that offense that Canton had with Coach Mock a few years ago, and you don't see it. No backs in the backfield, a different look. So we'll see how Big Red attacks it this time. But offensively, if you like fireworks, we've had them so far.
Ryan Haney. And a nice effort just across the 30 to the 31-yard line.
That opening possession, Big Red tried to do most of their pressure coming from the outside. I think this time you may want to look possibly a Bronco Busick, see what they can do for penetration as far as coming up the gut, coming up the middle. Draylon Free, number 84, the defensive end on this near side too. Another key pass rusher for the Red. They stick with that three-man front.
Garner hanging back in that pocket all day to the middle, complete. He's got If, first down's over. So the third catch of the day for If, had the touchdown on the last series.
When you look at their numbers, Garner's thrown for 4,100 yards and pretty impressive. And If is his main receiver. He signed made a verbal commitment to Ball State this week, and the pass just overthrown the outstretched arm of Bronco Busick.
And again, the protection there for Garner.
Here's what they're showing blitz there with Busick.
Here they come. He'll get rid of it. If underneath. 45 into Big Red territory to the 42.
You're seeing a lot of these short pass routes that they're throwing. The defensive lineman for Big Red, you got to get your hands up. Got to get your arms up and really create congestion in these passing lanes. I think there's always this misconception about Dover throwing these home run passes and so forth. They throw the short routes. The big home run plays that they get is when Garner gets in trouble and scrambles, and guys go to find the open spots for Garner.
So quickly, here are the Tornadoes on the move. Garner steps up. He will go deep. Man coverage down the sideline, and it's overshot. His intended receiver was Carson Gessner, and the coverage was there from DiCarlantonio, who had an interception a few moments ago.
And DiCarlantonio with that coverage, Ryan, and I think, too, you want to see Big Red maybe showing some blitzes and things and not be sending the house or sending anybody on every play, because they want to see that. They want to see how they match up with If, what their matchups are in this secondary.
Right now, If is in the slot on this 2nd and 10 from the 42. Garner surveys, comes middle, and If couldn't hang on to it, incomplete.
Well, I tell you what, Daniel Lift, he is an exceptional route runner. Big Red rode him. If you watch, they were being very physical off the line with If, and they were that time. Kind of rode him into the inside. And you'll watch. Here's a look at Garner. If is on the bottom part of the screen. They kind of ride him to the inside. Nobody really picked him up. He finds the open spot, but could not hang on to it.
3rd and 10. Flag down, and this play will be whistled down.
Movement, and this is something Big Red, when you're showing all these different looks, stun blitzes, and so forth. If you're not used to it, you get a little antsy on the offensive line, and that's what happens there. So the procedure penalty going against Dover, so that'll back up the Tornadoes, 5 yards.
First penalty assessed this afternoon. Very clean first 10 minutes and change here. So now a 3rd and 15.
That's Stevie Davis on the blitz.
Coming up the middle, Davis. Garner gets rid of it. If makes the catch. First down to the 27.
We talked about this is something, a new blitz package they threw in this week during practice. I told you about Stevie Davis coming up the middle, but what does that do? That brings your safety up and leaves that hole open in the middle of the defense. Davis does not get to him. Draylon Free, once again, get your hands up, and there is Ift into that vacated spot in the Big Red secondary.
So they convert on 3rd and 15. Big Red this time will rush 3, and Garner reads that, and he'll take off and run. Draylon Free will drill him at about the 25-yard line. I'll tell you what, Garner, for 6'2", 210, he has some deceptive quickness to him.
He is, and he's not going to be like Zach and have the highlight 50, 60-yard touchdown run, but what he will do is pick up your 6, 8, 10 yards, so get your first downs, get some tough yards. And right now, he's doing a very good job of reading the Big Red defense. Slot man top side has plenty of room at the moment in that trip set.
Garner looks right, comes middle. It is complete to Kyle Sattler.
And Boise, good story, Ryan. 2 touchdowns last week against Cambridge. His first 2 touchdowns of the season. They were the first 2 of the game last week. Talk about setting the tone and setting the momentum. Kyle Sattler did just that.
Scored on the first play from scrimmage. 75-yard little swing pass from Garner. He took it the distance. Only a sophomore. Only has 13 catches on the season, so that was his coming out party. Not a secret anymore. 3rd and 3 now from the 19. Big Red coming up the middle. They'll swing it outside. It is complete, but slipping was Reinhardt as he was taken down for a loss back to the 25-yard line. And now Dover facing a 4th down and decision time for Dan Ift.
Loss of 5 yards. 4th down.
So you're looking at what, a 25, 35, 42-yard field goal.
For Reinhardt. His long this season is 36. He's hit 2 of 3 field goals on the year.
Special teams, Reinhardt an excellent kicker.
Sattler to hold, Reinhardt into it, and it is good. And he banged it through, so Dover regains the lead at 10-7. The Big Red holds them to a field goal. 48 seconds remain in the first. We're going back and forth. The Canton Fawcett Tornadoes by a field goal on the Doan Ford scoreboard. So let's assess it here. Each team has turned the ball over once. Dover's other 2 possessions have resulted in 10 points, and Big Red's other possession, as they're set to get the ball back, resulted in a touchdown.
And don't be surprised if you get a touchdown on a return. I mean, when you look right now, look at all the speed you'll have back deep for Big Red with Bogart and Davis. And really, the last guy that had a chance on the last kickoff return is the guy that got Davis on the return. And we know about Mo Bogart, an outstanding track runner, so plenty of speed back there for the Red.
Bogart, runner-up in Division II in the 100-meter dash. He's a burner. I'll tell you what, Davis isn't far behind him in the speed department. So Reinhardt, who kicked the field goal, boots it back into play, and it is Davis from the 3. Picks his way through, just tripped up. Boy, he did have a big hole if he wasn't tripped up there, but the Dover coverage team upends him, and Big Red will start from the 25 with 43 seconds left here.
And those are returnable kicks. These have been line drive, getting there quick, and Davis has had plenty of time to see that wedge and set up where he's going. So you can see those seams setting up for Big Red. So Big Red offensively, not only Dover's moved the ball, but so has Big Red.
This time Collaros will start out of a shotgun as he'll shift Davis and Markakis, and it's a run. Collaros up the middle, picks his way to about the 30, where he's cleaned up by Ryan Porter.
And if you notice, that will be when they're in that WVU setup like that. And that's like, for lack of a better term, it's become that. The WVU offense, the Richie Rod offense, whatever you want to call it. But when Markakis is back there, they'll be planning on running it, because Marky Markakis is there as your blocker. He tries to turn out Porter, and then here comes Zach for the run. Now, when McGee's back there as that sidecar, a whole nother world of possibilities comes up. And now you'll see Zach up under center with Tamai deep in that eye.
5 seconds left in the first quarter. Will they get a play off? It looked like Dover may have jumped off sides, and that will give Big Red an automatic first down. Let's see. Referee Larry Bartlett this afternoon, the white cap, and yes, indeed, offsides on the Tornadoes. Automatic first.
There's a good look at Coach Reno Sokoch, and at practice this week you can see they're going to do a lot of things to get the hands of the Mo Bogart in space so he can go and make moves. Bogart and Stevie Davis, a lot of little out patterns, little drags and so forth. They work with them. And you can always watch Big Red, I'm not saying here, but on down the line with a reverse, whatever they can do to get the ball in the hands of a playmaker like Bogart.
Pretty entertaining first stanza here at Canton Fawcett Stadium. Dover up 10-7 on the Doan Ford scoreboard. We'll start quarter number 2 after this. You see how packed it is here. What a crowd this afternoon here, Don. A lot of enthusiasm, a lot of emotion coming from both sides, and a lot of red, as you would expect, on this Saturday. From the 36, it's a 1st and 10 for Big Red as we switch sides, and movement up front will delay the start here of the second quarter.
So procedure against Big Red. Very uncharacteristic for Big Red. It doesn't get penalized a whole lot, but there you see the difference. There's a sidecar, but now it's McGee rather than Markakis, and that puts a whole different change in what they'll run out of that set.
So it goes back to the 31. for a 1st and 15. And there you see that shift again. McGee to the right of Collaros and movement again. So this will cost Big Red another foul.
Back-to-back procedure penalties against Big Red, so that'll back him up 10 yards.
And we've still yet to have a snap here in the second quarter.
Watch fit. They like to send 15 on this corner blitz sometimes too, Ryan, top side.
Collaros out of the pocket. On the run, it is too high over the head of Dan Vogel.
Collaros just had a bit too much heat.
Coverage on the play for Dover, number 7.
But that play's designed for him to roll to the right. Vogel will be top side, go over and find that spot in the middle. So Big Red now 2nd and 20.
It's Davis, Gossett, Bogard to the top of your screen. Vogel to the bottom, and that's McGee.
You've got good numbers top side, 3 receivers and 2 guys covering.
McGee next to Collaros. Pump fake. Now he's going to tuck it. Collaros almost broke out of the tackle, but again, it's Ryan Porter, who's been all over the place defensively here for Dover, that tripped him up.
They really like Ryan Porter. 97 tackles, 5 sacks on the season, 9.5 tackles for loss this year. And Porter, he's got to contain, plays his position very well. There you see the good inside pressure from Bill Longacre that really, once again, broke up that play.
Big 3rd and 19 here from the 27. Collaros to his right. Step up, it is complete. Gossett out to the 45, about a yard shy of the first down. The marker at the 46, so they got about 18 of it. And now an interesting call here for this Big Red coaching staff.
Here's another look at it. Anthony Gossett was up to the top side. Zach rolls down to the right. Gossett comes clear across the field. Just nice pass over the outstretched arm to the defender. Gossett with a grab. Big Red got to go for it. 4th and short.
They're going to gamble here from the 45. Quickly up to the line, out of the huddle. Collaros on a quick snap. Option play. Hill will have the first down. So Big Red, you know the confidence they have, not only in Collaros, but the offensive line. A lot of veterans up there, and only needed a yard. He got a few more than that.
Get up to the line, quick snap count. They must have saw something in films that they like to make that work. That's not what I would have thought of, is the option on that. I think you're looking quarterback sneak or Tamai, but with no fullback in there, that's what they ended up going with, was that option top side. So they have a first down just a yard shy of midfield, and some changes. I see Nick Vagagis coming in at a tight end spot now, Ryan, to the top side.
And that'll be Bogard coming in motion to the bottom. Collaros rolls that way and throws it to Bogard, who can't hang on right at midfield.
Collaros pass incomplete to number 5, Maurice Bogard.
Out of that rolling pocket down to the near side. Bogard coming in motion that way, had 3 receivers to that side. Dover, this defense, like we said, has been much maligned, and if people look back at that Licking Valley playoff game last year where a lot of folks thought that Dover outplayed them, a lot of turnovers, but they gave up a lot of points in that game, and that defense has been maligned, but looking very strong so far today.
Fake give to McGee. Collaros up the middle. First down and more to about the Dover 38 before he's finally stopped.
When you look at this Big Red offense, you essentially have 2 tailbacks. You've got 2,000-yard rushers. Tamale McGee, you got to respect that. Then here comes Zach, and you got the big man Radakovich paving the way, and Zach can run. He's got the wheels, and he picks up that first down. He always seems to find that open spot.
So now it's Big Red on the move. After converting a long 3rd and 18 to get it to a 4th and 1, they get that. Now they're in Dover territory with the 1st and 10 from the 38. Back to McGee. Right side out of a tackle. Pounds forward to the 30. That's right at about his average, nearly 8 yards on first.
Tamale McGee breaks tackles, and that's what he's doing. The first guy to hit him isn't knocking him down. Tamale fighting through tackles. Another look at it here, and there's a nice block at the beginning of the play from Marky Markakis. Here you see Markakis taking on his man. All right, two guys had a shot there. Third one lowers the shoulder. The fourth one, finally gets him and brings him down, but that's 7 yards on the pickup for Tamale McGee. But a lot of this gets opened up with Zach running the ball as well. It's your two tailbacks, if you will.
Now McGee, fullback size, but tailback speed. Timeout called by Big Red. 8:51 left before halftime. They're trailing by 3, but they're on the move. We'll be back.
And Johnson qualified 15th.
Back to business, 2nd and 3. Collaros play fakes, got a man open, checked off of him, rolls to his left, he'll go end zone. Bogart is down there, it is tipped by Reinhardt and incomplete. He had Bagages wide open along the right side, checked off of him, went for the big home run, and Reinhardt closed on that play exceptionally well.
Defensively, first off for Dover, Porter does a nice job disrupting this. You'll see him come in and put the pressure on Zach. Porter fighting off the block. Here comes Zach, eyes downfield, shoulders square. Bogart's open, but I'll tell you what, Reinhardt has some speed, and he gets over there. Was that Reinhardt? Yes, it was Reinhardt. Gets up there and knocks it down.
Nearly picked it off. 3rd and a long 2 for Big Red. McGee pounds to the 25. And you can almost guarantee on that play, Tamale McGee's getting at least 5 yards.
But you looked at the previous play, you had 2nd and short, go for that home run, try to make something happen. Then 3rd down, they've shown all day they can move the football on the ground. Nice little inside trap, and paving the way for Big Red, Phil Gilmore. Gilmore and Campbell, if you see these holes that they're opening up in this inside of this Dover front, Dover with that 5-man front.
So from the 25, fake to McGee. Collaros will dance through that hole to the 15, and another first down for Big Red.
It's like when you're reading a book. You pick up the book, you open the book, okay? Essentially what they're doing, that left side of that offensive line just opens up the book and paves things to that way, and you're running right up the middle.
It's a pretty good analogy.
They're just turning everything out to the left, flipping those pages over to the left, and you see the gap between the center and the guard on that side as well for Big Red.
Collaros, a couple of yards here as he again faked it to McGee. Looked like he had maybe some footing problems there. We were on the turf earlier. Didn't appear to be much condensation on there. It seemed to be pretty much a dry surface.
Nice day. It's about, I think they said, 41 degrees. And this is odd. I mean, playoff games are always at night. High noon start, something a little different. You see Ryan, Big Red, 2 receivers top side.
Option play, Collaros, just got the pitch off to McGee, who has it inside the 10, inside the 5, and out at the 3. Collaros was tied up, got the pitch away, and McGee did the job to corral it. Kind of a dangerous pitch.
I don't know.
It worked out, though.
Which sport is a game of inches? I don't know, but it's football today. Look at this. Risky pitch. I'm telling you, Shane Lester could have ended up picking that thing out of the air, but Zach gets it there to Tamale, and this is guys that have played together for a couple of years.
Sure.
So it's that right hand, left hand, I know what you're doing, I know where you're going to be. But you see that, we talk about the strength of Garner. There you see the strength of Zach. I mean, he's got a guy pulling him down and can still get that pitch out.
Big Red will spend another timeout. It's 2nd, 7:18 left. They'll have a 1st and goal at the 3-yard line. WTOV9.com's high school football page, the most comprehensive high school football website on the internet today. We take you closer to the action than you've ever imagined. Bio, stats, video, highlights, articles, and more. WTOV9.com's high school football page. Nothing brings you closer to the game. And if you're traveling to a game in the Ohio Valley this football season, you can't miss the football forecast on WTOV9.com. Log on and click on the football forecast link for the specific weather conditions for every stadium. That's available only on WTOV9.com's high school football page, where again, nothing brings you closer to the game.
Interestingly, on Sunday, Dan F. told me that game Saturday night against Cambridge, in his 12 years as head coach at Dover, the most complete game they have played. I think they followed it up today. They were really playing well, but Big Red knocking on the door once again.
First and goal. McGee pushes forward for a touchdown. Big Red on top for the first time today.
That forward lean, you talk about running backs going forward, leaning forward, going toward the goal line, and that's what McGee does. Initial stop did not stop him, kept the legs driving, and powers his way into the end zone. And we take another look at it. Keep going forward, and that's what he does. Here's Tamari McGee, shoulder square, and piles into that end zone for the touchdown. So Big Red up 13-10, and they will attempt the extra point. Stevie Davis.
75-yard drive, a little bit of McGee, a little bit of Collaros, and Don, you really have to go back as the extra point attempt from Davis is tacked on. You have to go back to that 3rd and 19 where they picked up 18. Collaros to Gossett that set up the 4th and 1.
And having the guts to go for it, 4th and 1 in your own territory.
It results in a touchdown and a 4-point Big Red lead. 7:14 left before the half. You can watch the Weirton Christmas Parade live on Weather Plus, Saturday the 25th of November at noon, or if you're at the parade or miss it live, catch the tape delay broadcast on WTOV9 the following Sunday at noon. So back and forth we go. Big Red on top for the first time today. As you see, Jeremy Banks, the junior, getting set to tee it up and give it back to the Tornadoes. You get the sense, Don, that if you're Dover, the way Big Red has had its success running the football today, you're going to pretty much have to score every time you touch the football. That's the sense you get so far through a quarter and a half.
They're used to doing that. I mean, they're used to scoring a lot of points. Big Red not used to giving up many points, though, so we'll see how that shakes out.
Squib kick fielded by Porter. And it'll be good field position for Dover from its own 39-yard line.
We'll watch and see what Big Red does defensively. If they're looking for more of a coverage-based defense, if they're trying to get Garner with the blitz. And the thing is, he is hard to bring down. What makes Perci Garner so strong is it's so tough is that he is so strong. I mean, he can take one arm and a guy's trying to bring him down, just literally push him off and still make the throw.
So back to work for Garner. 3-man rush for Big Red. He goes to the middle and it's dropped.
Open receiver, short underneath route. Bronco Music over in the coverage, but there you see just the 3 men as far as the penetration for Big Red. Garner with plenty of time, open man, and the pass is incomplete.
Same look defensively for Big Red as they rush 3. Garner along the sideline, floated one for him, too high, 3rd and 10 coming up.
Floating high because he had the man on him in coverage and there were 2 men over there helping out. So really 3 guys basically in that area. So if he was going to get it to him, Garner had to put a little touch on it, try to get it over, and it is incomplete. But like Reno told me this week, Dover completes 1 out of 3 passes. They've got a first down. Big Red showing like they might send somebody from the edge.
Busick coming up the middle. Put the pressure on. Garner completes. Sattler right at the 50. And that should be enough for a first down.
This is what makes this offense tough. 3 pretty ugly plays. Okay, you had a drop pass. You had one overthrown, and then you have this, but the receiver runs right to the sticks. The ball's thrown where nobody's going to catch it but him, and Sattler comes up with the first down grab. Yeah, not 3 pretty plays, but it's a first down.
Dover converted over half of their 3rd downs all season long, and they do it there. And now on first down, high for If, then too high, incomplete.
You can see over there on the far hash, and they run the route on that side. Let's take a look in ISO on If. Number 7 receiver on the top side. He's the intended receiver. The ball just gets thrown a bit tall. Get a good look at Daniel, just out of his hands. A ball he probably should have caught.
And he said that, yeah, he said that going back to the huddle, pointing to himself that he should have had that one. Nonetheless, 2nd and 10. Pressure from the outside. Little slip to Reinhardt. He's got some speed, but he is upended at the 45-yard line. And that's an excellent open field tackle. D. Carlantonio combining with Davis.
Little quick slants and so forth. That's what they like to throw. There's Garner. Reinhardt making it, and Mr. Reinhardt opening up some eyes today with his speed. Now, Ryan, you've got 3 to the top, 2 to the bottom. If your middleman, or if up to that top side.
This is a 3rd and 4, and looked like had some movement against the Tornadoes.
They had Ift in the trip set to the top side. He was in the middle, and Zach Collaros is the guy that they had lined up against him for that coverage. If you look back at the previous play, Big Red did get some pressure in. It came from number 24, James Montgomery. Kind of got off that outside edge. And you have to worry about containing with Garner, too. I mean, if you're going to keep bringing that heat up the middle, he gets around the outside, can have a game. So you have to contain him as well.
So it's back to a 3rd and 9. Garner with time. It is caught. Ift sliding right at the 30. First down. They convert again on 3rd and long.
If you watch Big Red's front, look at Draylon Prue. Look how wide out he is. He'll try the swim move and go inside. Almost gets in there to Garner. But Bronco Busick has a chance as this ball goes by him, and then Ift, a good route. Once again, throw where nobody's catching but his guy. Watch Prue. I think they're starting to figure out something on that rush on the outside.
There he comes again. Prue closing on. Garner, he got him, and it's intercepted. Picked off. So Prue gets to him that time, and it's intercepted by Roland Owens.
Ryan, I noticed that on the previous play. What they did, they're taking the defensive end, and they're using Draylon Prue's speed. The right tackle is so big, but Pre's got the speed, uses quickness. There he is, comes in, hits the quarterback, and they get the interception. And great job by Big Red as they get the pick. And Draylon Prue made that happen.
Not sure if it'll go down as a pick or a fumble. Either way, it's a turnover.
Roland Owens got it.
And a huge stop for this Big Red defense. Collaros out of a fake, he'll keep it. Out to the 48 on first down. You had the sense Big Red was coming after them, almost getting to them. They finally do it.
Well, the previous play, if you look, the defensive end, they started gapping him further out to the side. He came into the previous play. The 2 men went on him. He tried to go to the inside, didn't get there. But Draylon Prue using his speed, and he did just that. So huge play from that Big Red defense.
And now it's up to this Dover defense as we wind to 4:45 and counting. Big Red up by 4, getting the turnover and with the football. McGee picks his way through. Big hole, 40-39 of Dover, first down.
You know, Tamale McGee has excellent speed, but I'll tell you what, they teach him to run north and south, and he does just that. Weaves his way through. There's that little inside handoff to Tamale. Good block there by Radakovich. Look at Tamale. Shoulder square, running upfield, getting that yardage for the Big Red first down.
I'll tell you what, he's one of the bigger backs they've had at Big Red too.
Oh, he is. He's got tremendous speed. I think people underrate just how fast Tamale is.
Another member of that track team for Big Red, Collaros, comes back to this side. Safety valve, Gossett with the catch. Spins down to the 31.
Late flag, and I don't know if we have some extracurriculars after the play.
Collaros perhaps was rough. Let's see the official call. Nope, an eligible man downfield in Big Red.
If you watch this Dover defense, Ryan Porter is number 80, and his motor does not stop. He's not going to be the biggest, most physical guy. I guess he's about 6'3", but he's always in there wreaking havoc in that backfield.
You talk about this Dover defense. Eric Williams was one of their top defensive players. He was lost in the first quarter of the first game against Canton South. Matt Weininger also out. There were a couple of their linemen, so they're banged up, this defensive unit. 1st and 15 now, back to the 44-yard line, negating what would have been a pickup of about 8. Collaros this time to his left, pressure coming. He will stick a throw in there, complete. Gossett, first down, 25-yard line.
And Dover flew in there. They got some pressure on Zach coming up the middle. There's Longacre. And Anthony Gossett finds his quarterback in trouble, stops his route, comes up and makes the grab. But good pressure up the gut from the Tornadoes.
Inside of 3.5 left. There's that shift again as Davis goes to the slot. And it's McGee next to Collaros. And not much doing on that play. Collaros may have lost a half yard.
Bill Longacre, 6'2", 220 junior. There he is, big number 57. And I'll tell you what, this kid's opened some eyes today. He is really putting up an exceptional job. And he's got good size, and he's pretty doggone quick as well.
His identical brother plays on the other side. So identical that teammates can't tell them apart sometimes. Loss of 2nd and 11.
Davis top side.
Collaros looking that way, now he's going to run it. Bouncing free for a moment, but corralled after a short pickup of about 3. And Andrew Radakovich slow to get up for Big Red, the big offensive lineman.
There was a mix-up in that coverage for Dover because I'm telling you, Stevie Davis was top side. There was nobody anywhere near him.
Well, Big Red employing the no-huddle look here. Closing in on 2 minutes, 3rd and 9. Big situation here for this Dover defense before halftime. Play coming in from the sideline. Collaros barking it out on a short drop. Outside, it's complete. Right at the sticks, Stevie Davis. So we're going to check the measurement here. He got out of bounds, so the clock is stopped with 1:49 left.
Big Red in their 2-minute offense, and you see the space giving to Davis. They run a little out, make the grab.
And he's going to be just shy. It's going to be 4th and less than a foot here. And Big Red unquestionably will go for it. We saw them go for 4th and 1 early in this quarter, back in their own end. So here, deep in Dover territory, they need about the nose of the football for the first.
Of course, the first time there's no fullback, they ran the option. Won't be the case this time.
Collaros straight ahead, he'll have it. So Big Red converts for the second time on 4th down. Again, just over 50% in that department this season, so they've had some relative success there.
1:42, so under 2 minutes to go in a half. They like these fades to Vogel, using his height in this area.
Fake to McGee. Collaros end zone. Looking for Gossett. We're going to get an interference. 2 flags come in as Reinhardt had his back turned, ran right into Gossett as the ball was coming to him.
Number 11, Matt Reinhardt, penalty flag on the play.
Pass interference, the penalty against the Tornadoes. That play seemed like it was going to open up. I mean, he actually may have been a smart thing to do. Take a look at it. There's the play fake to Tamari. Gossett was open, and then you see Reinhardt. Yeah. Face finding, essentially. I
mean, you see how good Collaros is. You see him freeze the defense with that play action. So good. So automatic first. 1st and goal from the 7.
Double tight.
As Vogel goes in motion. And Collaros fakes quickly to McGee, takes off himself, and Zach has a touchdown. Big Red has opened up a 10-point lead.
And let's see. Now Davis will come out to boot the extra point. You take a look at Zach, though. Nice effort. And turn around the fake. You can see the speed, just how quick and fluid he is with that fake and then taking it in for the touchdown.
So Davis in to try to make it a 21-10 game. Collaros will fake it, though. Look at the throw back to Davis. Still on his feet. He'll unleash it to the end zone, and it is knocked down. So the two-point conversion attempt is failed, and the lead stays at 20-10. Minute 24 left over with all 3 timeouts. Here's the question we ask.
Well, this will be fun to watch.
Well, this will be fun to watch, but Dover, we know all about their high-octane offense. How will they use this final 124? They don't and can't afford another turnover. We will return to Canton Fawcett Stadium after this. Dover, all 3 timeouts. I think depending on where you get the football here will dictate what they want to do offensively. Because they can't afford a turnover and give Big Red another chance here as Reinhardt drifts back. And he'll be knocked down just shy of the 20 at the 19. So a minute and 19 left. And all 3 timeouts for the Tornado offense.
And when you look, because that is what set up that touchdown, was the big hit by Draylon Perci, and be it a fumble or an interception that Owens ended up coming up with, that is what set that up. And I think a team can run a 2-minute offense, it's over. I mean, this is what they do all the time. Once again, keep an eye on that top side, because look at the, you'll see how far out Draylon Perci is, and that's what enables him to get that pass rush.
They'll continue rushing 3 as Garner stands in there, completes to Sattler. Out of bounds, wisely, first down to the 31.
And what a bonus that is if you can get that pass rush out of your 3-down linemen. I mean, you're just leaving so much more out to cover, because we saw earlier when they'd send Davis or send Busick, then they're leaving somebody open. They're leaving that spot open in that zone.
That play taking just 5 seconds, so a minute 14 left. Low snap, pressure from the corner. Deep pattern, wide open, just over the outstretched arms of Sattler again, as he was open along the sideline.
You see Garner's arm strength. He had plenty of heat coming right up the gut, right in his face. Low snap, though. Chad Murphy, some good pressure there. And you see the pass by Garner, and Sattler, just over the outstretched hands. Ricky Brancazio in for Roland Owens at the nose.
Garner on the run. Deep man coverage. It is juggled incomplete. Intended for Carson Gessner. Coverage applied by Anthony Jackson.
So take a look at the coverage. Dover fans a little upset, wanting pass interference. Take another look at it. Here is Perci Garner, nothing there. Kind of gets flushed out of the pocket. Almost lost it there in the pump fake. Pursued by Perci, and boy, talk about a cannon for an arm. And Jackson, yeah, they did get tangled up a bit, but pass is incomplete.
So 3rd and 10. Big Red coming. Garner is free. On the run. Jump ball. Ift has it. 14-yard line, first down.
We talked about this earlier. When does Dover make big plays? They make the big pass plays when Garner gets in trouble. These receivers for Dover, this is all they do. They're passing offense. He gets in trouble. The short guys go deep. The long guys come back short. Stevie Davis, that was that safety blitz. There's Cree getting them. If knows his quarterback's in trouble, he was on a short route. He goes long, gets behind the secondary, and makes one heck of a catch. That's about what? 50?
He unleashed it from about the 25, I think. So.
Yeah, that might have been what, a 60-yard play.
But yeah, what happened there is you had a linebacker eventually having to cover If downfield.
No, because that was the blitz. That was Stevie Davis. You've got your safety, and on that replay, you could see where he came up the middle to try to put the pressure on.
And Reno told us during the week, I know they didn't score on that play, but it was a long play. He mentioned the statement that we've known all season long. They can score on any play at any time. And again, they're not in the end zone there, but the big hitter has them all the way from a potential 4th and long, now a 1st and 10 at the Big Red 14-yard line, knocking on the door here before halftime.
And they got the ball with what, 140?
119 was, yeah,
there's still
119
47
left.
seconds on the clock.
2 timeouts as Dover just spent one.
They like to fade to Ift as well. They've got 3 receivers on those Twins top side.
He's in the right slot position. Big Red showing blitz from the corner. Markakis coming. He will fire it. Will Garner to Ift. Incomplete at about the 2-yard line. Big Red bringing pressure from either edge.
Anthony Jackson on the coverage for Steubenville. 2nd down, 10.
And we've talked about this with Dover. I mean, we talk about Garner and Ift and the skill players for them, but I'll tell you what, and Matt Reinhardt, their offensive line does one heck of a job at picking up these blitzes and different packages coming at them.
Garner looked outside, came in a slant pattern, and it was short of Sattler. Too low for him, so another 3rd down situation.
This is big for Dover. There's one heck of a difference going in down 20-10 than 20-17 with a touchdown and all the momentum in the world. I don't care if the score is 20-10 or 20-17. If you're Dover, they've played a very good first half of football.
Yeah, well, offensively they have. Now, defensively, as they spend the
but they're used
time
to
out
it.
here.
Right. They're
you're
used
right.
to shootouts.
You're right about that, but like you said, it's imperative here because if you're only down 3, and again, they have Reinhardt there who all.
I mean, here's
already,
a quick question. Who's Big Red's punter? I mean, how often do you see Big Red punt?
Right. No, it's
I think it's
a fair
Stevie
point.
Davis.
It is.
But when you think about it,
it's a fair point, but the point here stands because if you're talking about trading scores for the rest of the game, a touchdown here is almost a necessity.
oh, absolutely. And I believe Big Red gets the ball to start the second half.
Correct.
So all of a sudden you're down 20-10. Big Red scores to start the second half. You're down 27-10.
3rd and 10. Out of the timeout from the 14. Garner, middle, intercepted! Picked off by Collaros at the goal line. He's got blocking ahead. Collaros! Across midfield. 2 blockers, 1 man to beat. He'll take it 100 yards for a touchdown. And a game changer. Oh, mercy.
What an effort by Zach Collaros with the coverage and the pick, and then outruns everybody. Here's a look at it. They're trying to hit Ift on a slant. Zach, what an effort just making that grab. And here he is. All of a sudden, Stevie Davis says, come on, bring on the posse. Nice block there, I believe, by Vagages. Look at this. DeCarlo Antonio and Davis, all of a sudden, these guys are on offense. Zach, what a play. 100 yards on the interception return for a touchdown. And that's the thing, when you look at it, all these receivers are out in routes. There's nobody back there.
And Collaros was just sitting down in that safety spot. Picked it off for his 5th interception of the season. I think it's safe to say he hasn't had a bigger one, as that has shifted everything now into Big Red's favor. A 14-point swing potentially.
And when you look at that conduit and that return, there was nobody to block. Once they got by the quarterback Garner, there was no one left to block. And turnovers, the first one with Roland Owens, and then the 2 turnovers right now, the big difference.
So things settled down here after that. Big Red took a timeout to regroup. They get the extra point unit on, and in a matter of seconds, it's gone from potentially Dover closing to within 3 points to Big Red up by 17. 27-10, 22 ticks left here before halftime. Now, we mentioned when Dover took over the potential for a turnover, we meant down in their own end.
Right.
Nobody envisioned a scenario like that happening.
Well, you know, they'll use every bit of these 22 seconds that are left, too.
Yes, they will, and they're going to have to at this point. A reminder, the 2 of us with you here today. We're also with you on Fridays for Sports Friday. as well as Sports Sunday. You want to stay up after the Chargers and Broncos tomorrow night for complete, comprehensive coverage of the state semifinals that you will not get anywhere else.
We'll prep you for Shadyside Mogador, Bel Air Mooney, and what's up next for the winner of this game, as well as the West Virginia playoffs. And but you look at that, Dover needed to score there, because once again we get the point. Big Red gets the ball to start the second half, and boy, I'm telling you, I don't think either one of us could have envisioned that happen.
Third turnover and third interception. Not sure if that second one has gone down as a fumble or an interception, but third turnover for Dover in this first half. Liner. And brought back across the 42-yard line by Shane Lester. So 17 seconds still left here before the half. And Zach Collaros. The big plays continue to come for the outstanding two-way senior. Another do-it-all man. And I know Dan Ift was worried about him from the quarterback spot, but I'm not sure he was envisioning his efforts as much from the safety position, as it's Garner this time. To his right on the run, back to the middle, and that is nearly intercepted. Stevie Davis jumped in front of Ift.
Kind of surprising, they tried to hit Ift on an underneath run. I thought they would try something long down the sideline. Here's another look at it. Low snaps. Here's Garner. He is so poised in the pocket. And there's Stevie Davis on the underneath coverage. And you really want to keep an eye out for Reinhardt, though. He's a blazer, and he's topside. Ift down to the bottom. Remember, Ift used to play quarterback if they ever want to try a gadget.
10 seconds left. Garner crosses the line of scrimmage. Time ticking away. He'll have the first down, but time has expired here in the first half. Big Red was down 10-7. They ripped off 20 straight points, including the Collaros 100-yard interception return for a touchdown. Big Red up 27-10 on the Dune scoreboard at the half. We'll be back to start the third quarter at Canton Fawcett Stadium after this. Through here at Fawcett Stadium, getting set for the second half. Big Red up by 17, and they're getting the football back, but Dover's going to go onside, and the Tornadoes ball is loose right at the 45-yard line. No indication yet. Dover was at the bottom of that pile, and they have recovered. So Dover, the gamble, they recover the football right out of the gate.
I think they touched it before 10 yards, though.
And I think Corey Abel was the man that got it.
On the 45-yard line.
The Big Red coaches on this side thought they touched it before 10 yards, but I'll tell you what, excellent job by Dover. Little script, they followed up quickly, and you know what? They needed to do that. Something got you like that for momentum, and now they've got the ball and have a chance to really pull back into this thing.
Garner on a run to the 38-yard line, where he's dropped by Rick Brancasio. That's as good as a stop, because coming out of the half with Big Red getting the ball, they needed a stop, so that's equivalent.
Exactly. They hadn't stopped Big Red, and the thing is, you not only get the equivalent of a stop, but no time went off the clock. And you have great field position.
But they have to capitalize. 3 turnovers plagued them in the first half. Big Red showing blitz. To the outside goes Garner. It's Settler. Turning the corner, he'll have a first down, out of bounds at about the 31.
Big Red brings pressure off the edge. When you bring that pressure off the edge, that makes that receiver on the inside of those trips become the hot route, the hot receiver, if you will. He's not covered. There he is, open for the first down.
Garner this time, right to the sticks, it's Ift. So a run and 2 passes, and it'll be second and short for Dover, who has a little pep in their step here. Down 17, early stages of the third.
A passing offense like this, these guys running routes all the time, they run smart routes. And there's Ift running out right at the sticks. Comes up just a little more than a yard short, but close to that first down.
Garner, pressure from the outside, escapes it, and completes. Sattler coming back the other way. Inside the 10, first and goal at the 8.
Garner's pass complete to number 5, Kyle Sattler.
You want to bring your pressure from that outside backer, and you want to bring it off the edge because there's no running back in there to block. But when you get in there, you've got to make contact. You've got to hit the quarterback. Garner does a nice job sidestepping, and on that slant there is Sattler, and he's come up as Mr. Clutch for the Tornadoes as a receiver in the postseason.
And he was close to taking that one, just a block or two away as Garner will roll to his left. Pressure from the backside. He'll surge forward. It'll end up being about a yard loss. Draylon Pree from the outside again, and he's slow to get up after making the initial contact with Garner.
Yeah, Draylon's going to come out. I don't know if it's his right ankle, I believe. If you look at Draylon. An ankle or a knee.
Well, for the moment, that does not look good. And let's see if we can see in the replay here, Don.
Here's a look at the replay, and here's Garner. Here's Draylon. Excellent job on the pass rush, getting to Garner. And really hard to tell there, but he got rolled on. I mean, he's behind Garner trying to pull him down, and the player rolls onto the top of Draylon Pree.
And we know how valuable he is to that defensive front. Caused the turnover in the first half that you saw, applying pressure there again.
Well, he is so quick, and that's the thing. When you've got his quickness, you can have your rush come from the 3 down linemen, and you saw Draylon right there disrupt that play.
Okay, we'll step aside. 10:35 left in the third. Big Red up 27-10 on the Doane scoreboard. Now Draylon Pree being helped off the field to the cheers of the Big Red crowd on this home sideline here at Canton Fawcett Stadium. You see the effort it's taking just to get him off the football field. He can't apply any pressure to what we believe is that right ankle.
And he is such a big factor on that defense for Big Red. Draylon Pree coming out, and James Montgomery will come in to replace him at that defensive end spot, which has been essentially a rush end.
Second and goal. Garner slip. Reinhardt looking for a block. He's inside the 5. Cut back. He'll inch for a touchdown. So it's over. Onside kick. They march it and gets back into this football game. Now down just 11, 27-16.
And Reinhardt limping after that. What an individual effort by Matt Reinhardt. Won a lot of open space. He makes the catch. You see Big Red with that blitz coming from the outside. Reinhardt just steps back toward his quarterback, picks up a nice block from Sattler, and I'll tell you, Matt fights through 3 Big Red defenders to get in the end zone for that touchdown.
Now we saw him limping. We'll see if this plays a factor here on the extra point. No, sir, as he boots it through, and it's back to a 10-point game. 27-17, 10:23 left here in the third quarter. So Dover gambles, and it pays off for them. And while we have a moment, we remind you that Saturdays at 11:30, you can get caught up on all the latest news from your West Virginia Mountaineers on Mountaineer Magazine every Saturday at 11:30, only on WTOV9. So that's back to the equivalent of Dover getting a stop and going down and scoring. But as you said, not a lot of time was taken off the clock, a little more than a minute and a half. I doubt they can use the onside kick again, though, in this game.
No, but normally if you're going to get that stop, you're probably going to eat up 5 or 6 minutes of Big Red with the ball on offense. So you couldn't imagine any worse scenario for Dover to end the first half, but not any better scenario for them to start the second half. But still, the Tornadoes down 10, and at some point, they know they can score, but they've got to be able to stop this Big Red offense. And ironically, first possession they did with the Big Red turnover, but since then, Big Red has just been so efficient. And when you talk about it, first half, Zach Collaros, 8 of 11 for 102 yards. So you can't get any more efficient passing than that.
And McGee has chewed up his usual chunk, 11 carries, 75 yards.
We talked about in the first half, though, They had that onside kick last time, but boy, when they kick it deep, Big Red, they just seem to be about a block shy of running one back.
Well, here goes Bogart from the 2. To the right. He's got a block, and he has the corner, but out of bounds. He just ran out of real estate.
Well, they're lucky they didn't have a flag in that for blocking the back.
29-yard line is where Big Red will start.
Once again, if he could just got to that corner, good contained by the outside man on that kick return coverage unit for the Tornadoes. And here comes the Big Red offense, first possession of the second half. And it's so efficient in the first half was Big Red, Ryan. You've got trips and only 2 cover guys over here, so they're going to need some help. The underneath route will be open probably for Bogart.
And Collaros will start out of the gun, swing past Bogart in the flat, looking for a block from Vogel, and he'll be ripped down maybe a yard shy of the first as Daniel Wiff came over to apply the tackle.
You had the 3 receivers set and 2 defenders over and a safety deep, and that's if you're the Big Red offense, just a little swing out to Bogart. With his speed, good things can happen, and a nice pickup of 9 yards. And Coach Pirot not watching the offense. Coach Pirot thinking about defense and how to stop this Dover offense.
As have a lot of defensive coordinators this season. As Markakis bounces in motion, they'll run to that right side. McGee, brought down as it was Shane Lester coming with the penetration. You saw McGee shake the first man, and his strength allows him to do that, but credit Lester for winning that battle that time in a good open field effort. The leading tackler on this team, actually second leading tackler, over 100 tackles coming into this game.
Loss of a yard, and they crowd Markakis over the block that way, and fighting through there, Dover blows that thing up, and I'm looking at Mike Longacre really doing a good job with that penetration.
Well, this is a biggie here for Dover. 3rd and 2, Collaros from a gun.
Possibly a keep with Zach. I mean, he's been so deadly with this. The little fake inside fake to Tamai, and he keeps it.
There you go. Collaros up the middle. 45 as he ran into the official and out of bounds in Dover territory at the 49.
Any other offense, you can sit there and you can key that tailback, but not here. I mean, he's going to do that little fake to Tamai, and you got to honor Tamai. And here comes Zach. There it is, inside fake, and there he is, straight up. That's no different. He's getting it no different than a tailback would, coming straight to the line. Except he's coming from a dead stop.
And again, the line opening up those cracks and crevices.
Dover needs to stop defensively, and really that's been the story of the day so far.
McGee nearing the 40-yard line.
Opening that book again, and opening it to the right side. Tamari McGee picking up the yardage. Let's take a look. Let's open this book, and we're going to open it up to the right side. Trapped there by the guard. Marky Markakis over there with the block as well, and Big Red getting it done. Phil Gilmore, little inside trap for the Red.
Quick snap here, McGee bouncing off all kinds of tacklers, finally brought down at the 34. And he's closing in on the century mark.
Good to see Tamai back healthy, and you just see how good he can be when he's got 2 wheels. Here is Tamai just busting up through there, and Big Red getting those blocks on the inside. Nick Vagagis, tight end, helping pave the way.
And play clock down to 5 seconds here.
That's a big play clock, though. That's for guys like me that can't see well.
They get the play off. Collaros rolling to his left on the step up. Vogel dropped it.
Well, Vogel had the ball coming to his hands, and one eye is looking at the football, and the other eye is looking at all this green pasture, because if he caught it, he'd still be running.
Second down, 10.
Zach does such a nice job rolling out of that pocket and keeping his shoulders square, looking downfield and throwing. Very athletic, and just deadly. And the thing is, when he's out there, you've got to respect his threat running the ball.
And like you said, very efficient. He's only thrown 2 interceptions all season long. Here he goes with the run. To the right, Burdett will ride him from behind, but Collaros will be awfully close to another first down.
It's that Richie Rod WVU offense, and I'm telling you, Zach runs is so efficiently, reads that defensive end, kind of bites to the inside, and Zach off to the outside. That was Bobby Gilmore, the outside backer, that Zach read to get to the outside, and another first down. Nothing flashy. They're just chewing up yards. Now they got the trips out of the inside. Once again, they like to run Davis and Danny deep, and you can have an underneath route with Mo.
It's been a very matter-of-fact drive. McGee had some footing problems, it looked like, as he tried to slash through the hole, and he picked up maybe a yard.
And the way Big Red can throw the football, I mean, you've got the trips outside. You can't ignore them with the depth of the receivers and the ability that they have for Big Red. And if you give them space, they throw the swing out to Mo, and all of a sudden you got a nice little 5-6 yard pickup.
Approaching the 6.5 minute mark here in the third.
Oh, offsides. And if you're Dover, you don't want to give them 5. And they did there. So you're 2nd and 9, maybe a little dicey. Now you're looking at 3rd and 4. They'll bring in the double tights. Fahey comes in at a tight end along with Nick Vagagis.
Dover penalized for the 5th time here this afternoon.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean, Reno and Coach Radakovich, I mean, deep at heart, they love to pound the football. I mean, Big Red's traditionally known as a running power football team, and you gotta think they enjoy this. They like getting out there, running the football, pounding it. Now they got the stack eye.
And they'll go to the deep man, McGee. And he'll be met and corralled. Burdett, who had the huge defensive game last week with the interception return for a touchdown. But the big play was setting the tone last week was when he ripped the ball from Stephen Ford and ran it back for a long return.
One arm, he's playing with that cast. There's a look at Tamari. Out of that stack eye, trying to get it to the outside, and Burdett wrestles him.
Now it's at a very manageable 3rd and 3 from the 16.
Now you take a look at that top sideline. Now they're trying to adjust over to those twins. And Bogart to make it 3, so numbers are red that way.
Collaros out of one tackle, and he couldn't get out of the other ones. Finally coming to make the decisive hit was Bobby Gilmore. So Dover reads it, does the job, forces a 4th down, and Big Red will keep the offense on the field as we take another look.
And you see there were 3 receivers that way and the 2 defenders. And here comes Collaros. Dover does a nice job coming in and busting in on that, but Dover's got to keep guys in that box to try to stop this run.
And here's one of the plays Big Red will employ. Watch for the man snapping the football, which is Davis, and looked like the Tornadoes wanted to call timeouts.
Because he's an end.
He's an end, exactly. He's on the end. They've run that play successfully this season to Davis. Last year in the playoffs, they ran it for a touchdown, and the Tornadoes want to tuck things over. This 4th down could be the ball game for Dover. Down by 10, 4th and 5 coming up for Big Red. Well, a big moment. 4th and 5 from the 18 out of the Dover timeout. Big Red back in a conventional set. Collaros, shotgun. Now we'll get some instructions from the sideline. And look, and it's intercepted, picked off. Jumping the routes was Matt Reinhardt. So they get the pick, and a big stop for Dover on 4th. The stop that we've been talking about and they have needed all game long.
And the interception does give them momentum. And take a look at the stop here. Zach Collaros on 4th down. Trips top side. Down to the bottom was Davis trying to run the out. And Reinhardt steps in front of it for the pick. Now Dover back deep in their own end, and they still need to be patient. They're down 10. You score a touchdown here, you're within 3, but you don't want a big mistake deep in your own end.
Only the third interception thrown by Collaros this season. To the middle, it's complete. And again, it's Sattler who stepped up again this week and contributing an awful lot to this offense is the young sophomore.
Perci Garner all alone, he's going to stay that way. No pressure coming in from Big Red. There's the completion of Sattler. Draylon Pre back into the game. Was not in on that play. Pre in. He'll be top side. James Montgomery stays in at the other end down to the bottom. So watch the pressure from the top from Draylon.
Pocket collapses. Garner still on his feet. Out across the 30, eluding Bronco Busick, who was a would-be sacker on that play.
Perci Garner is so strong. You know, a lot of guys, you had Bronco Busick diving at your ankles, diving at your feet, you're going to go down. But not Garner. Garner picks up a nice gain on first down, so they're looking at a second and a long 4. Garner showed blitz from the outside, but that opens up that inside receiver.
Busick coming up the middle. They picked him up. Garner along the sideline. Ift will have the first down across the 35.
This is what I meant about patience. Make these short routes, and they do just that. Take a look at this. Perci Garner just need 5. Little pump fake to the right. Finds his go-to man, Ift. Finds a nice little spot, a little curl route, settles down and makes a grab. Pre out, Murphy back in it, that top side defensive end.
Garner to the middle. Coverage there from DiCarlantonio, but Ift able to make the catch. We saw him do that last week against Cambridge in traffic. Make the tough catch, and he does it there.
But just a yard short of the first down. Classic pocket protection there for Dover. The defensive ends taking that outside rush. The tackles carry them to the outside. Perci steps up in the pocket. Plenty of protection, unloads it. Here you see cup protection. He steps up in the cup. Take a look. That's a nice grab.
2nd and 1 from the 45. Pressure from the outside. Garner gets rid of it. It's through the hands of Micah Mills along the sideline. Garner a good job to get rid of it because Big Red was coming.
Yeah, that was Nick Vagagis, and that's that pressure coming from the edge, like we said, because no running backs in there to pick him up. Micah Mills, good to see him in action today. Injured last week against Cambridge, and back in the lineup. So now 3rd and short. Now you're going to just have a design quarterback draw with Garner, try to get the first.
Well, they want it, and Garner will have it across midfield, still going to the Big Red 43-yard line as they came on the blitz. They were up the middle, but Garner found just a little crease to sneak through.
Dan F. paid Big Red the ultimate compliment this week, saying you're going to play a team that's going to play all 4 quarters, and that's rare a lot of times, and Dover's showing that too, that they're here to play all 4 quarters. And Garner, just how big and strong he is as he goes up and gets that first down.
Drive started all the way back at the Dover 14. It's at the Big Red 43 now on a 1st and 10. Garner gets rid of it along the sideline, and he just throws it away. Pressure coming from Tyree Dunn, who was in his face.
Pass incomplete, intended for number 1, Micah Mills.
Boy, he's got to have a bucket full of ice ready for that arm after this game. My goodness.
And the thing is, it's not your prototypical 2-3 step drop or whatever, and get your footing and throw it. I mean, it's the fact that I don't care what Garner's doing. It's good to look at Tyree Dunn. He can throw on the run, backpedaling, or whatever. He's just that strong.
Garner nearing 40 pass attempts. Still 240 left here in the 3rd. As he drops straight back here to the middle. Ift, it is one-handed pick by Zach Collaros. And a huge block from Vagagis. Collaros on the cutback. Did he do it again? Still going. Cut back to the middle. Spins free. Collaros all the way to the Dover 47.
And I'll tell you what, Daniel Lift is down on the field, and he's still laying there. He got one heck of a hit on a cutback block. Collaros is down too at the end of it. I think he's exhausted. Here's a look at Garner. Unloads it down the middle of the field. If just stretches out trying to make the catch. Zach somehow makes a one-handed grab. I don't know if we can see the block. Here comes Collaros, and he just got drilled. That was, I believe, Nick Vergages.
Yep. A legal hit it was, but Daniel Eft is still down back around the 20-yard line in the training department from Dover out there. And here's the return by Collaros. The interception, his second of the game, as he snags it with one hand.
Great play by Zach. And you'll see Daniels is looking at Zach right there and just gets level.
Well, a very encouraging sign as Zach Collaros is up off the turf. But Daniel Eft also, as boy, he was laying motionless for a couple of seconds there, as there's a look at Collaros making yet another big play in this game. Daniel Eft is now sitting up,
well, you think
which is a very encouraging sign at this point. He's being helped off the football field.
And we take a look there at Collaros as well. And the thing is, think about this: a ball thrown over your head, if being helped off the field over on the far side, and a ball being thrown over your head, you are outstretched.
Yes.
You're outstretched. Collaros makes the pick behind you. You turn around to see, and you are completely exposed and really can't protect yourself.
Now the quarterback, number 8, Steve Davis.
Well, it's Big Red.
And Stevie Davis in at quarterback for Zach now for Big Red.
As Collaros will be attended to. Fumble. Davis picks it up. Now he'll try to come back the other way, and he's got the speed. Flag down.
Blocking it back on Big Red.
And he's down at midfield.
Quarterback, number 8, Steve Davis.
So we have all sorts of happenings here. No
Penalty flag on the play.
Doc Big Red here.
Blocking the back. Now Zach comes back in.
And the sun comes out here for the first time today at Fawcett.
2:05 still to go in a pretty long third quarter.
Been a very entertaining ball game, back and forth, momentum shifts. Big Red's defense, one of the big stories here, intercepting Garner 4 times now, 2 of them by Collaros.
After the penalty, it'll be first down.
And that'll be a huge mark-off all the way back to the Big Red 32-yard line. The first down is the 36 of Dover.
It went from the spot of the infraction.
So first and 32 for Collaros on the offense. Option play, pitch McGee. Another flag is down.
And a hold against Big Red.
As McGee has it out across the 40-yard line. I'm trying to catch on the far side. If we can get a look at Daniel Eft. He is on one knee, still being attended to, as you see the penalty
Legal block against Big Red.
assessed.
You know, I've got to ask Santa for a pair of those binoculars. Ryan stands up here this whole game, and I don't know. He's looking in binoculars and every other thing. I'm telling you. Block below the waist, so Big Red will go back 10 more. So one thing that really impressed me last week with Big Red, though, last week against Canton South, when they would get these penalties and these problems happen, boy, they would come up with a big play and make up for it. And we'll see if they can do just that here. 10-point lead, 1:35 to go third quarter, but heck, they're facing, what, first and 47?
It is first and 47.
At least.
All the way back to the 17. Collaros straight up the middle. To the 25. As we close in on a minute left here. And so far, Don, in this third quarter, Dover has gotten what it has wanted with the onside kick and the stop defensively. However, they convert on the one touchdown, but are intercepted there following the defensive stop.
Which there, I mean, they were driving. It could have been a 3-point game, but they've still got to get that defensive stop.
And now an official's timeout.
Well, they had the defensive stop in that end. I mean, they need to come up with one here, especially with this field position.
If up and walking along the far sideline, and we will attempt to see if he will return to this football game. Certainly an integral part to that Dover attack. Collaros steps back now, gets rid of it. Bogart along the sideline, open. Out of bounds at the 47. So this becomes a little more manageable now on third down.
No, Bogart saw his quarterback was in trouble, found an open spot, and Zach finds him. Zach was in a world of hurt. He's up in the front of the pocket, takes his time, goes back in deeper to get a better look, and finds Bogart.
So here they go, Big Red. It was 1st and 47. They get a little bit of it back.
It's still long. It's 3rd and 16, but coming from 1st and 47, right. I mean, you've sailed half the ocean. Now you only got a little bit more of it to go.
And if you have two guys, like on that play, that are ad-libbing and doing a little improv act, who better to be doing it than Collaros and Bogart? So 3rd and 16, and again, a stop here, a must for Dover.
But remember, too, I mean, Ift is key in that secondary. He's off the field now, so.
They only rush 3. Collaros stands in there, floats one. It is incomplete. Would have been enough for the first down. Sliding was Bogart, and I think we're going to see the first punt of the day for Big Red.
And we'll find out who the Big Red punter is. Well, we know it's Stevie Davis. We talked about this earlier, but here's another look at it. Here's Collaros.
Number 7, Daniel Ift, and number 11, Matt Reinhardt.
And looking for Mo, and just beyond his outstretched arms.
And Daniel Ift is back in the game, back to receive this punt.
Will Dover try to block it?
Looked like Dover had too many men on the field. Micah Mills was, and yes, they're going to get a flag here. So if fields the punt down at the 19, but Dover had too many guys on the field.
On the return, tackle on the play by 23, Jeremy Banks. Penalty flag on the play.
30 seconds left here in the third. The only scoring done in the third here, Garner to Matt Reinhardt.
And as you mentioned earlier, you've got Dover had the pick for the stop, now forced the punt. So as far as things for Coach Ifton and Tornadoes, I know they've got to be happy with what they're doing. Now the penalties on Big Red, illegal substitution?
I think he's going to refine that.
Yeah, he pointed the wrong way. No?
No? Well, Dover was feverishly getting a player off the field. The flag came down and
correction. There it is, okay.
And the crowd on the home side will tell you.
Well, they made the right call.
Yeah.
I mean,
so 30 seconds, as we said, left here in the third. And tell you what, it's turned out to be a great day here. Great atmosphere, and seen a pretty good football game here thus far.
Boy, I hate to say this, I kind of like these afternoon playoff games. And this is the game that they originally said 8 o'clock. Everything was originally 7 o'clock, then because of Ohio State, Michigan, move everything back to 8 o'clock. Now they made all the games at noon, but this is a pretty nice change of pace. I mean, we're used to state championship games, but high noon, not too shabby.
So they'll try it again here. Big Red gets a little 5-yard edge.
All right, Coach Reno Sokoch talking things over, getting everything situated. Now, let's see. The two guys back deep. We'll see if Dover has anything up their sleeve. Pretty good, looks like max protect there for Big Red. Couple up men to protect the punter. Lester's got some speed. He's on this outside edge.
Oh, and Davis trouble with the snap. He's going to turn the corner here. He may get the sticks. No, he will not. Out of bounds at the 43.
Well, we talked about it. We kind of joked about it, really. But we talked about the fact Big Red doesn't punt that much. And there you go. You got the bad snap on the punt.
And it looked for a moment like he was going to be able to turn this into a first down, but Dover in pursuit.
Not a bad snap, he just missed it. It looked like Davis just took his eyes off of it, but with his speed, but Lester gets over there, and Dover does a nice job. Bobby Gilmore as well.
So the Tornadoes have shut Big Red out here in this third quarter. Garner now. Reinhardt hangs onto it, it's got a block, and he actually ran into his own man right at the sticks. If he would have went one way or the other, he had either the sideline or a lot of green turf ahead of him.
Yeah, Reinhardt and these receivers, when you're catching routes like that, you're like a running back, and he just misread the block. Here's Garner. Pressure from the outside, steps in, and you can't say enough about Garner's effort under pressure. There's Reinhardt with the catch. Strong, breaks that tackle. Now right here, yeah. Thought the block was going one way, it went the other, and we're done for the first 3 quarters.
End of 3 at a sunny Canton Fawcett Stadium. Big Red leads at 27-17 on the Doane Ford scoreboard. We'll start the 4th after this. Start of the 4th quarter from the 46. Perci Garner in trouble. And he gets rid of it, and it's, oh, what a dangerous pass that was. So lucky that that wasn't picked off, as Garner just was being thrown to the ground and just unleashed to the middle of the field.
And really, you would only ended up with a 3-yard loss if you would have been sacked. But Chad Murphy, big number 73, does not stop. Misses him there. Garner comes back, and Murphy says, I got you. And Vagagis was there as well in front.
And Gossett was the closest man to that play.
Plenty of room. They're giving Sattler on the low side.
They're coming after him. Garner on the run, complete. It'll be just shy of the first down. Daniel Ift back in the football game. Looking at a 3rd and 1.
There's a look at it. Daniel Ift's back in the ball game, and this is Garner running away from Murphy. Fires the ball, and if just short of the sticks, a yard short, brings up 3rd and 1. Chad Murphy cranking up the heat on that pressure in the absence of Draylon Free for Big Red. Showing a blitz look again.
Well, Garner's going to run it. First down and more inside the 30, brought down from behind by Markakis, but Dover moves the sticks again.
And Perci Garner, he is the running game. 542 yards coming into the season, and he just reads the blocks, finds a little seam, and picks up the yardage for the first down. 11-10 to go in the ball game, and Big Red hanging on to a 10-point lead.
This is a similar situation to late in the first half. Dover driving down by 10. Big Red came up with the big defensive play, the Collaros return, the interception return for a touchdown. Here's Dover from the 26. Garner, pocket collapsing, they got him this time. Markakis off the end.
Big sack for Big Red, and it comes from Markakis. We always talked about how good the linebacking trio was last year, and this year's crew pretty doggone good as well. Vagagis, Busick, and Markakis, and they come up with the sack there for Steubenville Big Red. If you look down, Big Red really putting pressure. They're uptight on these wideouts for the Tornadoes.
4.5 sacks now for Markakis on the season. Garner on a deep drop to the middle, complete. Ift on the run. 20-19 to about the 18-yard line.
Safety blitz. The blitzer that time was Stevie Davis, number 8, the safety coming up in, leaving that middle open, and there is Ift. Another look at it on the M-Media replay. Here's Garner, nothing there, but I'm telling you, Stevie Davis is coming, and there's the completion. And Jeremy Banks with the tackle for the Red.
3rd down. Garner wants to run it, bounces to the outside. Inside the 10 as he turns the corner, looking for the end zone. Will he have it? No, just shy. Out of bounds at the 1.
I'll tell you what, you got to give credit to the Dover offensive coordinator right there. Big Red bringing a lot of heat. What do? They let Garner run it. Oh, nifty move by Perci there. He picks up the block from Daniel Ift. And it's just shy of the touchdown. They are down to the 1-yard line. But the heat was coming. The receivers were covered tight, and they let Garner run with it. And probably expect the same thing here.
He's got Ift lined up next to him. Straight ahead, Garner pushing forward, surging for a touchdown. So Dover down 27-10 at the half. The Tornadoes have scored 13 unanswered. And they're a point away from making it a three-point ball game, and Perci Garner has put this team on his shoulders.
And Perci Garner goes in for that touchdown. Reinhardt on for the extra point to try to make it 27-24.
Reinhardt has connected on all but 5 of his extra points this season. And that stat will remain the same as it's now 27-24. Steubenville Big Red. 9:31 left. You gotta love this game of high school football. We'll be back. This game all week long and hyped it up, and what a matchup it is two of the best teams in Division III, the defending state champs, the high-octane offense of Dover. So far, we've got everything we've wanted.
It's lived up to the hype, and I'll tell you what, two outstanding football teams, and Big Red had that nice lead, 27-10 at the half, but boy, Dover with the onside kick and playing to win and not playing not to lose, and they've come out and been very aggressive here in the second half.
They've played with that flair of desperation here.
And they've had a couple of stops,
half.
and we said they in order for them to win the game, they were going to have to stop this Big Red offense, and they've done that in the second half.
Well, they need another stop here as Reinhardt boots it deep. Davis from the 2. Back to the right. Now he'll go back to his left. They can't let him get outside. They do. Across the 30, across the 40, and out to the 42. And boy, did Davis make a heck of an individual effort there as he picked up about 30 yards.
You got to have your lanes, and you got to contain. And I'll tell you what, they got to bottle up in the inside, sucked everybody in, and left the outside open. And Stevie Davis has tremendous speed. Big Red with good field position at the with their own 43, but Dover's lucky it's not a heck of a lot worse. Here's Davis, and Reinhardt a good deep leg, but boy, it allows teams to set up these returns. Missed tackle, nice block, and there he is out to the corner. I think Reinhardt, the kicker, made the tackle.
So Collaros in the offense for the 43. He'll look to the outside. Vogel with the catch down at the 48.
So 5-yard gain brings up second down and 5. It's got to be Tamale McGee time here now. And the thing with Dover, I mean, as long as you're with the 3 points, I mean, they showed earlier, they don't need much time to score. Double tight.
Give to McGee. They'll be close to the first down. As he surges forward, yes, he will have it.
But it's asking a lot out of your defense to shut out Big Red in a half.
Yep.
And really, that's what you're doing, because it's 27-10 at the half. Dover's outscored them 14-0 here in the second half. But that's asking a lot. You've outscored them 14-0 second half, still down 3.
Collaros chewing up a lot of that clock. He still has the football after faking to McGee. And he'll be stopped at about the 42, 43-yard line. We go back to that interception where If was injured. Collaros also hurt on that play, and he did have to go out for a play. We're not sure right now if that has played any effect, if he's back to full capacity or not.
That was a great individual effort by Zach, and yeah, he was shaking up the end of that play for Big Red.
We got 3, 2nd and 7. Time continuing to tick away inside of 8 minutes left here. Collaros with that play clock in full view. Option, and he'll keep it. Takes a hit at about the 38, and he'll be a yard shy of the first.
Back-to-back plays, Bobby Gilmore, linebacker, defensive end, whatever you like to call it, for Dover's done a nice job. The previous play contained, kept him in, kept Zach in. This time on the backside pursuit, Gilmore coming up and making the tackle. Now you're looking at a 3rd and 2 at the 38 of Dover, and this is 4-down territory. Big Red doesn't get it here. They'll come back and try to get it on the second play. So McGee No, it'll be Zach on the keeper, but the whistle blows before the play. Timeout, Big Red.
Big Red spends timeout number 1. They have 2 remaining, so does Dover. 7:04 left. And every play becomes crucial. Big Red up 3, facing a 3rd and 2. We'll step aside and be back. 3rd and 2 from the 38. Collaros down the line. He'll surge forward, and this is going to be close.
He got it. He's got it. By the nose of the football.
No measurement, first down, Big Red.
It's one of those rare times that the play, it's right in the spot we are in the press box.
First and 10, Steubenville ball is only 35-yard line.
Another look at it. Here is Zach. Surges forward, picks up that first down. And Big Red just working. They want to eat up as much of this 25-second clock as they can each time.
This time it's McGee to the left. Looking to get outside. He'll get 4 on first down to the 31.
Stays in bounds, keeps that clock running. You can eat up a lot of the clock, but you want to score. I mean, we saw with Reinhardt. I mean, as long as you're within 3 points, we showed the strength of his leg earlier.
We're in a situation where it's a must-have for both teams. Big Red.
Speaking of punting, has Dover punted?
Dover has not punted today. Big Red has to score. Dover has to stop them. I mean, that's that simple.
2nd and 5 on the 30. Got a mismatch now.
Give to McGee. He is met just about a yard shy of another first down, as it was Burdette who stood him up. And another 3rd and short for Big Red.
And here's a look at it. There's that inside handoff to McGee. And if you're back there, you're a linebacker, you've got to hang on. You've got to make sure it's not Zach keeping it.
3rd and 2 from the 27. Collaros had it in McGee's belly, but he kept it, and he'll have another first down.
Go back to that game of inches thing, and those are 2 first downs on this drive by mere inches.
Big Red just keeps plowing along down here. Drive started just outside the 40 off the Davis return. It's now at the Dover 25 as we approach the 5-minute mark here left in regulation.
If you're looking from the Dover perspective, it's not the clock, it's the stop.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if they get the ball with a minute left, they're happy. They just need to stop.
Collaros to throw this time. Pressure coming. Steps up on the run. Dumps off Bogart. Down the sideline. 10-5. He lost the football. It's loose in the end zone and recovered by Dover for a touchback. Brandon Burdette, who was trailing the play, came from out of bounds to come back inbounds in the end zone to recover the fumble. He did it last week with a big fumble recovery, and Burdette.
Here it is, immediate replay. There's Zach under pressure. Does a great job getting the ball, dumping it off to Bogart. Here's Mo. Look at the green room in front of him. Picks up the block, and Mills helmet right on the football, and it just bounces wide open in the end zone. Burdette with the recovery.
Well, the stop Dover needed, they get, and it's back to offense and Garner from the 20. They'll run it. He lost the football. Back to Big Red. Davis recovers.
How about that? Draylon Pree with the play of the day. Again, from behind, here is Garner, and he's got some running room. Here comes Draylon Pree from behind, reaches in there and punches out the football, and there's Stevie Davis with the recovery. Twice. And you talk about how big it was with him on the sidelines for most of the second half.
5th turnover of the day for Dover, who now needs its defense to do it again. Collaros will be stopped after a short gain. And really, Don, you can't ask this Dover defense to do much more here in the second half. They've shut Big Red out here in the second half. They got 2 turnovers.
No gain, second down 10. Ball at the 27.
Well, if you go back to that play, though, I mean, there's Dre Lawn set up most of the second half, and he's behind Garner. Garner doesn't know he's there. Literally strips that ball, punches it out.
Well, Big Red very patiently. They'll milk every second off the play clock, which is down to 5 seconds. Collaros goes to work. Fake McGee. Collaros to the 25. Inside of 4 minutes left. Dover and Big Red each with 2 timeouts. And this is big here for the Dover defense. They want to keep it 3rd and long situation because the 3rd and 2s or the 4th and shorts, the short yardage situations, Big Red is winning each and every one of those battles.
I wonder if Zach will keep it here. Play clock behind him. They're going to work that thing down. Right to your left part of your screen. Clock at 10 seconds.
This is a 3rd and 8. Collaros to the outside, slip screen. Davis, he's free inside the 10. He'll have a 1st and goal as he was down. Ball did come loose, but he's down and out of bounds at the 4.
That's one of those plays you and I looked at last night that we talked about, the slip screen to Stevie Davis. Playing off of him and giving him the ball, letting him be isolated. There's Zach, looks to the right. Davis comes back on that slip screen, picks up the block.
And I'll tell you what, Don, what poise by this Big Red offense. The veteran leadership by Collaros. They've been in these big spots before, and they're responding here. 1st and goal from the 4, trying to make it a 2-possession game. McGee. A tough 2 yards there as the hole closed quickly.
Yeah, McGee got stood up and took a pop late. Here's another look at it. Ball to fullback Marky Markakis. He goes up and high and then gets hit. And again, down to the 3-yard line. 2nd and goal at the 3.
Inside of 2:45 now. Big Red looking for the potential knockout punch. Collaros, a fake. And who better to apply it than number 7 in red? Touchdown, Big Red.
Out of the stack I formation that had Tamari McGee written all over it. Zach does the fake, keeps it, and literally goes untouched into the end zone. There's Zach, there's the fake, there's Regagis with the block, Draylon free, the seal, and there is Zach into the end zone for the touchdown.
And not until the 2:36 mark of the 4th quarter does Big Red get on the scoreboard here in the second half.
The ability to carry out those fakes, and Zach is so deceptive. What an excellent ball handler is Zach Collaros.
And too much time here taken on the extra point attempt. Let's go over Collaros' body of work today, shall we? 2 touchdown runs, a touchdown pass, an interception return for a touchdown, and another interception to go along with it. A Player of the Week candidate for us, Donnie?
I would think so. I would think so. This week's Player of the Week was Daniel Lift of Dover, and I think the award ought to be going to Zach this week. What an effort by Zach Collaros.
So trying to make it a 10-point game now. Straight on is Davis.
Boy, those aren't pretty, but they count.
He pushed it to the right.
Oh,
so
that was no good.
Remains 33-24. 2-possession game, 2:36 left. Dover trying to hang on for dear life here. The Tornadoes will get the swing of emotions game here at Canton Fawcett Stadium. Division III Region 11 final. Big Red putting together the drive that they hope will catapult them to the state semifinals. The short drive following the turnover. As Don, we have gone back and forth here, especially here in this second half. What a job by both of these clubs here today.
Oh, without a doubt, back and forth, everything we'd anticipated. This has been a much awaited, talked about game, and you know, a lot of talk that they're going to play each other in the regular season, possibly beginning next year, a 2-year series, and that would be great to see. This game kind of reminds me of the one with Beaver Local, heck, a few years back, and because you go to the playoffs and you play teams from outside the area you don't know that much about. It's nice playing another local team that you can get a little rivalry going. The playoff game's got the Big Red Beaver Local rivalry going, and I'm sure this will help feed a Big Red Dover rivalry as well.
Well, we're not finished here.
Hey, with the way Dover can score, they already showed they can convert an onside kick. As they say, it ain't over.
Davis to Reinhardt. Trying to pick his way through, but the opening collapses, and he's down at the 28-yard line. So 2.5 left, 2 timeouts remaining for this Dover offense, and this Big Red defense is hearing it from the partisan crowd here on the home side at Canton Fawcett. Large throng of fans from both of these teams here today, and I'm sure just some unbiased spectators, some observers here as well.
So I think If and Reinhardt are both topside.
Jaylon Free coming after Garner one more time. Flag is down as Garner's on the run, comes back to the middle and completes to Ift, who's across midfield to the 44. This is going to be an interesting penalty flag here, because if the play stands, Dover will have a first down in Big Red territory off of just one play. It appears it's going to be defensive holding.
Defensive holding, and Big Red's been doing that, holding. They're getting in the face of the Dover defenders, trying to hold them up at the line of scrimmage. Like you said, 2-minute offense. I mean, that's what Dover's geared toward.
So in one play, they go from the 27 to the 44. Clock starts. Big Red will rush 3. Garner just gets rid of it along the sideline. Incomplete. Clock stops at 2:05.
3 men rushing, those 3 down linemen for Big Red, and they got enough heat on Garner to make him have to unload that the way he did. So that'll bring up second down. And boy, these guys, they're learning how to pass rush today. Spin moves and every other thing.
Outside, wide open is Reinhardt, tiptoeing along the sideline, but he's out of bounds at the 31, and that probably cost him 10 or 12 yards.
Easily. He had plenty of running room, ends up stepping out of bounds. But Dover does get the first down, and clock just 1 second under 2 minutes.
Still 2 timeouts remaining for the Tornadoes. On the backside is pressure. It's tipped incomplete, out of bounds. Bagagis from the backside coming after Garner. Very active senior linebacker.
Nick Bagagis has got the chance to start this year, and he's made the most of it. Here he is, the backside, puts the pressure on Garner, and the pass in and out of the hands of the intended receiver, second down.
Garner underneath. This is Reinhardt trying to find his way inside the 10, inside the 5. He's going to be brought down at about the 1. Now Dover's got to get up to the line here as the clock will stop for the time being.
Each team with 2 timeouts remaining.
30-yard pickup.
There's a look at it as they quickly come up to the line of scrimmage. Little pass out, Reinhardt, big gainer.
So Garner, is Big Red trying to get personnel off the field, will take it in for the touchdown. A minute 38 left. So Dover, just like that, as they get the football and march in less than a minute over 70 yards.
Flag on the play, though. Yeah, I don't know if somebody was lined up offside.
As I said, I thought for a moment Big Red had some personnel problems. They were rushing some players off the field. The flag came from the near sideline, the Big Red sideline, and here's the official word. Well, maybe not. The score has not been put up on the scoreboard yet, so as Reno looks on and awaits the call like the rest of us, it remains 33-24. This is an awful big decision here, obviously.
Well, Reno looking on like us, wanting to see what the call is.
And now the fans getting a little antsy. Dan Ift along the far sideline, head coach of Dover. He's waiting in great angst to hear the...
They came up and snapped the ball quickly. It wouldn't surprise me. There's a good look at Dan Ift, the coach of Dover. It wouldn't surprise me if somebody moved too soon.
Well, here we go. And as we originally thought, yes, so legal substitution on Big Red. Dan Ift says go ahead and kick it. Try to make it a 2-point game. Yeah, Reno's cracking a little smile here. And a little head shake of disagreement there. We await the placement here for the Reinhardt attempt to try to make it 33-31. And that's some problems with the snap. Reinhardt going right now, brought down by Bogart. So now it remains a 3-point game.
Boy, that's huge. That is absolutely huge, because now if Dover were to get the ball back, a field goal can only tie it. We'll take a break. Dover scoreboard. Big Red 33, Dover 30, 1:38 to play.
You know what's coming. The onside kick. Reinhardt has it teed up. We're going to try to punch it to the left here. And it may have hit a Dover player before it went the necessary 10 yards. Nonetheless, Big Red recovers anyway. It's a moot point. Stevie Davis on it. And now the offense will try to work on that clock. 1:38 left. 2 timeouts still remaining for Dover. But they did not get the bounce that they had anticipated off of that squibber from Reinhardt, who drove it into the ground.
I think both of those onside kicks, though, that one included, that ball's been touchdown 5 yards in.
I thought, yeah, perhaps that did hit off a Dover player. And now you got to watch for the Tornadoes trying to strip the football here. Collaros has Markakis and McGee behind him. And it is Tamale McGee. Shaking loose, he'll be awfully close to a first down.
But he's a guy that you've got to tackle. I mean, you're not going to make a living trying to strip him and not tackling him.
Run the clock.
It will be a first down, so that becomes enormous for Big Red in this scenario.
Marky Markakis with a nice block there.
And even after contact, McGee's still picking up 3-4 yards.
And Burdett trying to wrap him up with, he's got the cast to one arm, tries to wrap him up with one, and knock the ball out with the other.
Dover electing not to call timeout here. Clock winding to 1:10 and counting. And some movement on Big Red as play clock was down to 1. Trying to get the snap off, and I think they're going to be guilty of 5-yard infraction. Yes, indeed. What's the admission of one of these games? $8? I think if you paid the $8 today, you're going to go home happy.
Yeah, it's been worth it. It will be 1st and 15. Ball will be 42-yard line.
Game clock restarts. Exactly 1 minute. Play clock is at 15 seconds right now. So Collaros will milk that. Here's he got Dover to jump, so they'll get the 5 yards back, and all that time went off the clock as well.
Dover still with 2 timeouts, but
The penalty will make it 1st and 10.
it's 1st and 10 for Big Red.
And from Pittsburgh in the 4th quarter, it is Aurora 24, Meadow Lake Catholic 23.
And now timeout called. Appears by Dover. Yes, spending one of their final 34 seconds
Timeout Dover.
remaining.
But it seemed that, well, no 34 seconds, but it seemed that they let 4 seconds run off the clock. They started the clock up and let 4 or 5 seconds run, and then they went and called the timeout.
Of this afternoon's game.
So 34 seconds to go. Big Red up 33-0, and Dover calling that timeout, so they've got 1 timeout remaining.
Well, it's been quite an enjoyable broadcast here today from Canton Fawcett Stadium, one of the primetime, if not the primetime location for calling a high school football game from our vantage point. These two have put on quite the show here this afternoon for the Division III Region 11 Championship. Big Red trying to hang on to it here and secure their 11th regional title and 2nd straight. Collaros chew up as much time as possible and take a knee. Dover will spend its final timeouts, and now this Big Red crowd starting to sense it.
Timeout Dover.
The Big Red moving on, and they'll defend that state championship against the winner of Meadow Lake Catholic and Aurora, most likely. But what an outstanding game today at Canton's Fawcett Stadium. Both teams, Dover coming in as the underdog, down big at the half, a gutty performance here in the 2nd half, and Big Red, boy, when the chips were down, heck, Dover had the ball down, 3?
They were down 10-7.
Well, no, here in the 2nd half, after Bogart's fumble, Dover got the ball back and had a chance.
Yeah, Dover down 3 and then fumbled it right back. And now Zach Collaros, knee to the turf. And Steubenville Big Red, for the 11th time in its illustrious history, will capture a regional championship. And a gutsy effort as well from these men in red today. Down early, they battled back.
And you think about all the big plays. So Zach Collaros, 100-yard interception return for a touchdown. Just how big was that? You had the Tornadoes going down and trying to become within 3.5. That's a huge play. Draymond Green forcing an interception, forcing a fumble. And I'll tell you what, there's Coach Dan Ebb and Coach Reno Sokoch both will be very proud of their teams. Great effort by both, and Big Red moves on to the state semifinals.
And for this Dover club, they will say goodbye to a tremendous group of seniors, Perci, Garner, and Daniel If. Both we would expect going off to play Division I football. We know If for sure. Garner has an offer from Ohio University, but certainly the talent to do so. In the meantime, Steubenville Big Red will be 1 win away from returning to a state championship. Big Red beats Dover by the final of 33-30. Don, some final thoughts.
Well, an outstanding game, and Big Red moves on. They got the chance to head back, hopefully, to another state championship game, still defending that state title. And let's say this, let's hope that these two do meet in the regular season for the next couple years, I think it'll be fun to see.
It was a tremendous football game here in front of a tremendous crowd. And we thank the folks for tuning in and thank our entire crew here at WTOV9 for bringing you all the sights and sounds of today's Region 11 final, which belongs to Steubenville Big Red for the 11th time as they head off to the state semifinals next week. And for Don Sloan and our entire crew here at WTOV9, I'm Ryan Recker saying thanks for watching as we bid you good night from Canton.
Ready, break!